champion of the world.
The greatest fighter in the history of the sport.
One of the most polarizing athletes in all of sports.
Liquid Cash Boykin!
I know he's back in your life.
Helping you follow your dreams.
What's up? I'm my boy Jet here. About to be arrested for child abuse. That's right. Mama's boy.
Holy crap. But because of him,
How's that feel?
you've had to suffer.
Suffer? No, they learn. Hard work. Adversity. That's how winners are made.
It never stops. And I always feel like a failure.
Don't forget, you're the most wonderful, loving, giving brother.
This might be the worst push-ups I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I learned it from you.
Thanks for including me.
Always, sport. Got Jet a fight. He's got a bright future. Let's end this now.
Jet Boykins is your winner.
Fighting isn't who you are, it's what you do.
You're laughing. What is that?
You've been offered another fight?
Unfortunately, it's against me.
The most controversial fight in WFA history between Cash Boykins and his 18-year-old son, Jet.
Every 18-year-old kid out there deserves a good old-fashioned ass whooping.
You've been saying that exact same line to me since I was 3.
You about to dance with the devil, huh?
Pray I never end up like you.
You won't. Tomorrow night, you die.
Dance with the devil, huh?
Don't bet on it.
Yeah, I was born for this. You take a shot, better not miss.
The mission of how I started podcasting and started Special Chronicles is giving respect and voice to those of us with special needs. I became an athlete leader of Special Olympics Illinois, and when I recorded the audio of the speeches that I was given and putting those up as podcasts, I soon received messages of encouragement, and I learned that it was a powerful platform and really helping to make a difference in people's lives. 12 years ago, I didn't expect that anybody would want to even listen to me. We have over 42,316 listeners per month. It's a humbling experience. I'm really grateful to make a difference in other people's lives.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to find joy, acceptance, and inclusion.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we try, it's time we care, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Coming up on the Special Chronicles show, this is episode 402 of the Special Chronicles show right here on specialchronicles.com. It's good to be back behind the microphone, and we have an exciting show for you today. We are welcoming all guests and new friends, Colin and McKenna, and an actor, and his dad, screenwriter David McKenna, from the new movie Embattled that opened yesterday, but opened, I guess you could still call it opening weekend of this movie on Apple TV and Amazon and limited series. But we're here to give you behind the scenes stories from this new movie. So welcome to Special Chronicles, Colin and David.
Thank you, Daniel.
It's good to finally connect with you, and it's thanks to a mutual friend of ours, actually one of our producers that's sitting backstage. We can see her, but our listeners can't see her. One of our board members of Special Chronicles and producers, Darian. So it's good to get connected with both of you.
We are very excited to be here, Daniel. Right, Col?
Right. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and and I forgot to say, without that excitement, I forgot to. Well, people probably after 12 years, I think people kind of know who I am, but let's just for any new listeners. My name is Daniel. I am your host and founder of Special Chronicles and a Southern Rival International Global Messenger with Special Olympics. Can't believe I sometimes forget to say my own name at the top of the show. But a brief programming note: the Special Chronicles show is produced by the Special Chronicles Network for 12 plus years. We have been producing groundbreaking and award-winning podcasts that give respect and voice to people with special needs, like Colin and myself. Listen to hundreds of podcasts heard globally by thousands of listeners for free and on demand at specialchronicles.com and on podcast apps everywhere. This episode, okay, I'll say this episode is produced in collaboration with something else with the show. So yeah, I copy my show notes. Let's get over that part. Support for Special Chronicles comes from listeners like you. Join our supporters. And
there's a light coming in on us, Mars. We're too bright.
Oh yeah, that's not good. The podcast listeners are wondering what light are they talking about. Well, go check out the video on YouTube and you can check it out.
Right there.
And go to specialchronicles.com/give. We are currently raising $12,000 in celebration of a 12-year celebration at Special Chronicles. We are currently at 10 point. I should ask Darian to look this up for me. We are currently at. I am going to try to find it right now, live on the show for you, so you guys know. Let me see if I can click on. No, that's not that link. Here we go. Click to get now. Oh, I missed it. I had it. Now I have it up again. We are currently 10.3% of our goal. So so far we've raised $1,236 of our $12,000 goal. So please go to specialchronicles.com/give or click on that Give Now button at the top of the page. And we thank you for your generous support. And with that, let me introduce both of you, our guests, before you introduce yourselves to our listeners. Colin was born with Williams syndrome and is now 17 years old, but was 15 when the movie was filmed. He is a junior at Corona Del Mar High School and is on the ASB Student Council, a member of the Best Buddies program, and also an active member of the National League of Young Men. He loves playing basketball, just like me, fishing, body surfing, riding his bike. I also like to ride my bike too. I'm adding some commentary there. And spending time with his friends and family. I like that too. He's recently found a new passion in the launch of his very own YouTube channel, the Everything Disney channel with Colin McKenna. I can tell you I meaning me. No, this is your mom that wrote this, I think, Colin. Your mom and probably your dad too can tell you firsthand Colin is quite possibly the biggest Disney fan on the planet. David is an accomplished. We'll keep putting this up on the show so we can hopefully do in this episode we can get David some new followers on his Instagram. David is an accomplished screenwriter, producer, whose credits include American History X, Blow, SWAT, Get Cardo, and Jerry Bruckheimer's new TV show E-Wing, which stars Dennis Hopper and Benjamin Bratt. Without question, his greatest accomplishment and greatest joy is being a wonderful, very hands-on father to his 3 children, Jack, Colin, and Courtney. I should have changed this. It's not my family. David's family lives on Balboa Island in Newport Beach, California. And just a quick side note there, I was actually born in Long Beach, California. So we all share California. I don't live there anymore, but we all share. I can still say a native of California. So
very close.
So let's have you both, Colin and David, introduce yourself to our listeners. Tell us your connection to our special needs community and your connection to our disability community and the Hollywood for you, David, digital media for you, Colin, industries.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Colin McKenna. I was born in Newport Beach, California. I just want to thank everyone for watching this live stream and supporting the movie Embattled. Like he said before, I have a YouTube channel, the Everything Disney channel with Colin McKenna. Please go like and support my YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't been down to Newport Beach or something, I would love to meet you guys.
Yeah.
And hang out or maybe do something. I don't know. But anyways, thank you guys for supporting.
And I'm Colin's dad. My name is David McKenna. It's great to be on the show, Daniel. And with Hollywood, I've been doing it. I founded screenwriting while I was in college. I didn't know too much about it, but I started relatively young, and then I started. As far as Hollywood is concerned, I sold my first screenplay when I was 25 years old, so about 27 years ago, and I've just been working as a working screenwriter in the business for 27 years. And like you said, Daniel, it's been great because I've been able to spend so much time with my kids, which is
awesome.
So it's been just the best job.
Awesome. And so let's now go on, and our guests on the Special Chronicles show. It's episode 402 is David and Colin McKenna from the movie EMBATTLED. Embattled?
Yeah, Embattled.
And talk to us about both of you. Talk to us about how you got started with this movie project. Well, David, post you with how you got started writing the screenplay, and then maybe transition into how David came on board as an actor in this movie.
How Colin? Okay, yeah, great. I'll start because this idea started before really Colin, was involved at all. What I had read a short story, Daniel, that was about 2 pages, and it was just about this father and this son fighting. But it wasn't really that fleshed out. But I thought that would be a really, really good story. I mean, talk about the epic father-son story where there's been lots of incredible father-son movies. One that was a big influence on me was an old movie called The Great Santini, starring Robert Duvall. And so I wanted to kind of do something along those lines. And so it started off with the father and the big son, Jet. And I want to tell the story through his eyes, and I want to make the father sort of a really sort of bad, flawed character. But to me, that wasn't enough. I thought that the story was sort of missing something, and I thought it was a great opportunity here to give Jet, the 18-year-old son, a little brother. And when I really started about it, I go, well, what a great opportunity to do a character with Williams syndrome, because it was so close to me, and Colin has an older brother, so I get to really see the relationship between Colin's real brother Jack and Colin, and kind of infiltrate that into the film, and really sort of give the screenplay one more dynamic. It's always great for when you have your lead character to give him as much issues to deal with as possible, and not that having Colin with having a special needs brother is an issue, but he there's a greater responsibility that goes with siblings of special needs, and I thought that would be just a great addition for Jet to really do it. Now I'm going to let Colin talk in a second, but I wrote this screenplay when Colin was in 7th grade, so Colin was way too young. I never thought that Colin would ever. I had it maybe in the far back of my head that Colin would ever play the part, but I wrote it just for any Williams kids, because Williams kids are really advanced, and a lot of them are great actors and great performers. I've heard lots of great singers, kids with Williams, but most of all, the special needs community, a lot of kids have a lot of great untapped talent that unfortunately we don't get to see all the time. And so I thought that this was a great opportunity to kind of show the world that. Now I'll hand it off to Colin about how he got the part and everything, but go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so I was actually surprised when I found out that I got the part. I wasn't thinking that I was gonna get the part, but then my parents told me, Colin, you got the part. And then I started freaking out and stuff. But before that, I went to LA to do a audition, and we got the results back and everything like that. And it made me so happy, and I feel like I changed my life by making a passion of being an actor in this movie. And I couldn't have done it with my I couldn't done this without my family and friends, and the fact that I got to be in a movie was an awesome experience that I won't forget.
Awesome.
Daniel, can I elaborate on that really quick?
Yeah, you can.
Well, he went in, and there was lots of kids that came in to read.
Yeah, probably like 20 or 30.
At least, lots of kids. I mean, they did a nationwide search. And in the end, Nick Sarkisov, who's a great director, great, just loving type director. Colin went in and Colin just killed it. And it helped that that his dad wrote the screenplay, because so much of, a lot of stuff that's in the movie kind of, maybe was embellished in real life or whatever, but sort of stuff that is akin to Williams syndrome. Mm-hmm. And so Colin had a little bit of an advantage there, but he went in and we saw some other kids, and Colin was just really great for the part. And I was so proud and so happy that he won, because he really did earn it. And that was super cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And we for the people watching on YouTube already saw the trailer before we even got to the whole intro and started recording the podcast. But for the podcast listeners, I forgot to share with them the trailer. So we're going to go ahead and before we talk a little bit about how you guys both started this movie project, and we just talked about that. But before we get into a little bit more about why, Colin, you wanted to act in this movie, and David, why you wanted to write the screenplay, just a little bit more in depth into that part of the beginning story of this of how this movie came to be. We're going to go ahead and just share the trailer once again for the movie EMBATTLED, that everybody can go after you are done listening to this podcast. You can go and check out the video on Apple TV or Amazon. I'm gonna this weekend I'm gonna try to go. Usually I try to see a screening of the movie before having
Come on, Daniel, get with the program, man.
No, I should have screened it before doing this podcast. That's what I try to do, but I will. I put it on my watch list on for Amazon Prime, so I'm gonna watch it this weekend. But let's take a listen to the trailer for the EMBATTLED movie, written by David McKenna, and his son Colin is one of the featured actors in this movie. Here we go. And
the undisputed lightweight champion of the world,
the greatest fighter in the history of the sport,
one of the most polarizing athletes in all of sports.
Liquid Cash Boykin!
I know he's back in your life.
Helping you follow your dreams.
What's up? I'm my boy Jet here, about to be arrested for child abuse. That's right. Mama's boy.
Holy crap.
But because of him,
How's that feel?
you've had to suffer.
Suffer? No, they learn. Hard work. Adversity. That's how winners are made.
It never stops. And I always feel like a failure.
Don't forget, you're the most wonderful, loving, giving brother.
This might be the worst push-ups I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I learned it from you.
Thanks for including me. Always, sport. Got Jet a fight. He's got a bright future. Let's end this now. Jet Boykins is your winner.
Fighting isn't who you are, it's what you do.
You're laughing. What is that?
You've been offered another fight?
Unfortunately, it's against me.
The most controversial fight in WFA history between Cash Boykins and his 18-year-old son, Jed.
Every 18-year-old kid out there deserves a good old-fashioned ass whooping.
He's been saying that exact same line to me since I was 3.
You about to dance with the devil, huh?
Pray I never end up like you.
You won't. Tomorrow night, you die.
Dance with the devil, huh?
Don't bet on it.
Yeah, I was born for this. You take a shot, better not miss.
Listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 402. I guess David and Colin McKenna from the movie Embattled that you just heard, or if you're watching this episode on YouTube, then you saw the trailer. And let's now talk a little bit about first you, Colin, why you wanted to act in this movie that your dad wrote the screenplay for, and then we'll transition to David. See how we're kind of going back and forth on who talks first, but then we'll transition into David and why you wanted to write this screenplay for this movie.
Well, why don't you talk first about your acting and why I want to do it?
Okay, so I went to audition in LA for this part that I totally thought I wasn't gonna get. But then my parents told me when I was hanging out with friends that I got the part in the movie. So a couple months later, in October in 2018, I flew with my mom out to Alabama and I filmed there for about a month and a half. Had to do online schooling, everything. Well, not online schooling, but like on set, and I did acting every day, sometimes like till midnight, 7 to midnight, or like 6:30 midnight, like really late at night. Yeah. So like a lot, like probably 6 or 7 hours, maybe more actually, during the day. And it was just really, really fun just having Jet as my older brother in the movie. And I feel like my relationship with my real brother Jack, we have the exact same relationship as we do for the movie. Because Darren and I get along really well, and we feel like we're friends and brothers, and we really got to know each other throughout the film. And I just felt really comfortable and happy around him that I got to be his younger brother. So really fun experience.
Awesome.
And Daniel, Darren is watching, I think, right now, and so is one of our producers, Errol, which is awesome.
Hello,
yeah.
Hi, Darren. Hi, Errol.
And Darren is just it's so true, that when we weren't filming, Darren and Colin had such a great relationship off screen and
on screen.
And so when you have it on screen, it's even better. And the same goes with Steven and Elizabeth and Carucci and all the great actors. I mean, this is my most proud accomplishment, both from a creative perspective and from a personal. Obviously, having Colin in my movie is just the most incredible thing. It's a dream come true for any writer, but to have so many great friendships that was made from this movie. This movie, I'm so proud of this movie. I think it's a really incredible movie. I encourage everybody to see it. Special needs communities and just regular, I don't think there's been a movie that's been done quite to the level of this as far as, with the special needs and how to kind of integrate it organically into the story. And it's just, it's just a proud, proud, proud moment for me to have Colin. And I'm proud of myself, that I did. Sometimes as a screenwriter, when you attack the blank page, you're scared, and you don't know how to, every time you go into a movie, you never know how it's going to turn out. And I've had good movies and I've had terrible movies. And with this, just all the ducks were aligned, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Well, one thing I want to kind of touch on, kind of follow up to what you just said, David, is that something like a movie like this hasn't been made that's integrated all special needs community so well with the story, and I think we'll touch on near the end of this episode about inclusion, but it kind of fits now with what we're talking about now with that type. When you talk about getting inclusion of people like Colin and me and into the film industry and into these films and stories, well, it's so integrated that it's just a part of life. That's like so much of what your family, like the life of your family, the life of my family, the life of our producer Darian's family is, and so many other families like ours deal with that. I think by having stories like Embattled, where people can see where we're just much the same as other families are depicted in movies. And I think when you talk about inclusion in film, that's what, like this Embattled movie is what inclusion in film looks like. Do you want to maybe both kind of comment on that?
Sure. I mean, I'll start and then I'll let him kind of jump in. I think that it's a good start. I think this movie is a really good start. And like you said, I think it should be sort of this transition. And I hope that Hollywood takes note of what we did here and starts really sort of improving upon inclusion, because special needs today, it's really prevalent. Everybody is affected. We have, the special needs classes are really integrated at the high school level, which is terrific. Back when I was growing up, Daniel, it wasn't nearly as prevalent, and there was not the special needs kids. They were more isolated, and today it's just fantastic. I mean, the steps that we've taken is just fantastic, and I'm so thankful that Colin has so many friends, and I'm so thankful that the public schools really integrate these kids and really sort of mainstream them, and that the response from Colin's friends is tremendous, and they love him. And I think that across the country, parents really deserve a lot of credit, because especially parents that are not that do not have kids with special needs, they understand what parents go through that have special needs kids, and so they're very loving and accepting, and they know. And so that's the inclusive part. I mean, do you feel like you have a lot of friends in high school, and do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I get them, even if it's not like high schoolers. It's really fun because all different kids from all over Newport Beach come to CDM from middle school and high school, from like Anderson to Newport Coast to from Lincoln and from Harbor View. All these kids come, and it's just so much fun getting together and being with all of them, because once you get to know all of them, you feel like you're just having the best time being with them. And I'm so thankful that I'm I'm be able to be a part of CDM, and like my dad said before, like on set, like when he said like he was very nervous. I was nervous myself right when I was on set. But yeah, I'm just really thankful and everything. Thankful that I'm at CDM and that everyone's here to support me and cheer me on, and I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone on Wednesday when the premiere happens, and it'll be a lot of fun just seeing everyone and being with everyone and watching the movie and having a great time.
Awesome. So we'll try to touch a little bit on that as well after the break, but we're going to take a brief sponsor break because that's important to do on podcasts, right?
Absolutely.
We wouldn't be here without our supporters and sponsors. Yeah. And when we come back, we'll get into a little bit more of the backstory of the process of writing the script and as well as a little bit more about your character, David, and we'll talk a little bit more about the importance of inclusion in the film industry and in Hollywood, as well as we'll get to some questions, not only from that my producer is texting me in, but also from our live viewers that are commenting on YouTube. We'll get to some of those comments as well. That is not what's coming up on the show if you're watching the video screen. But I want to remind all of you viewers that you can somewhere I have it. Shoot, did I not? I hope I didn't delete this. I was going to say that you guys can, just like our producer did, you can text me, and I'm trying to find that. Did I not? Maybe I deleted that number. Well, with that, you can, because I've got to. Let me just add it briefly on air here. There's a new app. I don't know if you guys have heard. It's called Community, that fans can text you, and it's not my real number, but it is the real me. I will see it. Text Daniel now, and I'm going to put this number up on the screen: 630-280-3082. And once again, that is. You can text me right now, 630-280-3082. You can text me right now with any questions or comments for Colin and David to do in the show, and we'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsor. Our Special Chronicles Conversation with Colin and David. It's almost like Oprah's Conversations. She has a new show on Apple TV. it's almost the same thing, right? Almost.
Very similar.
Similar. Our Special Chronicles Conversation with Colin and David, behind the scenes of the EMBATTLED movie, releases this weekend on Apple TV and Amazon. Continues after the break. You'll listen to the Special Chronicles show right here on specialchronicles.com. We'll be back after a 2-minute break from our sponsor.
Hi, my name is Lisa Noble, and I'm a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and an athlete with Special Olympics Illinois.
Hi, my name is Daniel Smrokowski, and I also am a ComEd Energy Force Ambassador and founder of a company called Special Chronicles.
The ComEd Energy Force program is a program that hires people with disabilities to teach the public how to save energy and money.
It's the country's first energy efficiency program of its kind.
Saving energy is especially important while everyone is at home due to COVID-19. We're using more electricity than ever before. Just think about how many more times you are opening the refrigerator door these days.
And while the economy is stressed, it's more critical than ever to save money where we can. Following these tips can save energy and money in this time of COVID-19.
Wash your clothes in cold water and use the dryer sparingly.
Your dryer can take up to 7 times more energy than the washer.
Turn off and unplug any electrical devices or power strips you are not using.
Electrical devices can continue to zap power even when turned off if they're still plugged in. We call them vampire devices.
Use LED bulbs.
They use 25% less energy than incandescent bulbs and last up to 25 times longer, saving you lots of money over time.
Keep your refrigerator between 35 and 38 degrees.
And be sure to use Energy Star appliances.
And last but not least, check out PodmanDan.com/home savings for more tips and rebates.
Lisa and I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
Remember, we are all in this together.
Stay healthy.
And stay safe.
Bye. ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. ComEd is powering lives and radio is powering us here at Special Chronicles. Learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. That's specialchronicles.com/ComEd. We thank ComEd for the journalist support of Special Chronicles. This episode is brought to you by listeners like you. Please support this podcast at specialchronicles.com/give. That's specialchronicles.com/give. And we are currently 10% of our $12,000 goal for Special Chronicles. So please go to specialchronicles.com and click the Give Now button to donate and help us to keep all the lights on and all this plugged in. It's free for you to listen and watch all podcasts and content, but it does cost money every month for us to produce these shows for you. And with that, a brief PSA for the Inclusion Revolution.
We're not just athletes.
We are the ambassadors of an uprising.
Peaceful protesters.
In a rebellion against anyone
who has a fear of difference.
Difference.
Our demands are
equality,
dignity,
and the recognition of our
shared humanity. We will not stop
or accept anything less.
Today, our world is
more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution is inclusion. Find out more at jointherevolution.org.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles show. This is episode 402. Our guests are David and Colin McKenna from the Embattled movie. That is, I am getting text messages from our listeners and let you know that it is out right now on Apple TV and Amazon and limited theaters, I believe. And so welcome back, David and Colin.
Thank you, Daniel. Great to be here.
So let's now get into we're going to try to keep this episode to an hour. We're at about the 37-minute mark on the audio podcast. So let's our conversation with Colin and David behind the scenes of the Embattled movie releases this week on Apple TV and Amazon. Continues right now. Talk to us about the backstory of the process of writing the screenplay. And I do want to let you know we do have some questions from our live listeners that we'll get to hopefully at the end of the program. So for those of you listening live or watching live, just a quick note to you: we will try to get to a few of your questions at the end. Take us back, David, to the backstory of the process of writing the screenplay for this movie.
Daniel, it's pretty. I've always wanted to do. This is my world. When you have a special needs kid, it soon becomes your world. And so I wanted to infiltrate that world into a possible movie, and that is the basic backstory. When I came up with the idea, I came up with the idea of doing this really great father-son fight movie. And so the process there, you come up with that initial idea of doing a father fighting a son, that's the main idea. That's the goal of the movie. But then to pepper it in with a little brother with Williams syndrome was the final touch to making this movie great. To having just a father-son movie fighting. That's really good. I think that's a really good idea for a movie. If you can, and then my job as a writer is to sell that and to make it as believable as possible. But then just adding in Quinn and the Colin's character into the movie takes it to the next level, I think. And so we went from really good to great. And that's Colin is the heart of the movie. And thankfully we had the characters, the actors in the movie really understood the script. They knew what to do with the characters, and then having Nick, our director, really sort of guide all the characters. It was just the best experience. I've been doing this for 27 years, and this was the best experience. I've done 8 movies and a television show. This was the best experience I've ever had, and this is, American History X was a great movie, and it's loved by a lot of people, but I think that this eclipses American History X in many ways. And people will think I'm crazy, but I really am that proud of this movie. Do you want to add in on that, pal?
Yeah, I'm really proud of this movie too, because I'm really proud of how it turned out. There's a lot of fun scenes, and there's a lot of funny parts. And just being like a normal brother to Jet was like so much fun on set, on and off set. The casting crew were so nice. Everyone just helped me get through this process of making Embattled a great movie.
Awesome. And speaking, you said that about some fun scenes and stuff. As we're talking about this movie Embattled, maybe let's go to you, Colin, and then David, because I'm sure even as a screenwriter, you were probably on set as well, not just as David's dad, but as the screenwriter for this movie. So can you both share some fun behind the scenes stories from filming? Is there any fun behind the scenes stories that you will both would like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, well, one of my favorite scenes was the pool scene where what is his name, Dad?
Kingston.
Yeah, Kingston.
Jakari.
Yeah, Jakari and I we did a cannonball into the big pool, which was like really fun, and there's a whole party thing going on in the background. And another one of my favorite scenes was watching the fighting on the TV with Donald Faison. That was a pretty cool scene. I have a lot of others, but like those are but just all my favorite parts are just with Jet and I, how our relationship went, everything. I really liked how the movie turned out, and pretty sure all of you guys out there would really like the movie too. So.
Awesome.
I wasn't on. My wife, Marcy, and Colin, they flew out to Birmingham, and they were gone for 6 weeks. So I was back here taking care of our other 2 children in Newport Beach. So I was only on the set for about maybe a week and a half. So my wife has a lot more stories about them. But every day on set, when you have Darren and Steven and all these great guys, Colin was thoroughly entertained. He loved shooting the movie. I was there for I was there for the bowling scenes, so they got to go bowling.
Oh yeah, that was one of my other favorite parts that I forgot to mention. Is the bowling scene for Kingston's birthday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for Kingston's birthday.
Awesome.
Yeah, and by the way, my brother and sister actually flew out to Alabama to watch me on set for a couple of days, which was really awesome.
So that was fun. And then Colin's grandparents, Morris and Stephanie. I don't think Carolyn came out. My mom didn't, but they came out and they watched the really intense scene when Jet, Colin's brother, Darren, and Colin are leaving the diner, and they really sort of get in this big fight, and that was another super cool scene. So lots of crazy stuff was going on.
And is there any behind the scenes stories that happen, like not in front of the cameras, but kind of behind the cameras that you guys can share with our listeners?
You went trick or treating, remember?
Oh yeah, I went. I actually spent Halloween in Alabama, which is kind of weird and different, but it was fun. Also, we, I did, like I said before, I did online schooling, but other than just being with nothing too much. I mean, just hanging out.
Birmingham is great for Halloween. Colin, there was tons of people trick-or-treating, and this neighborhood that Colin went to go trick-or-treating was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Neat. So hopefully, if any of our listeners are ever down in Birmingham, Alabama during Halloween, then they should go trick-or-treating. Yeah.
So it was fun seeing the cameras and everything, like going behind the scenes and seeing.
Neat.
Sorry. It was also really fun going behind the scenes and seeing how everything works and see how like how you can watch it like live while the other when you're not on set, you can go back and see what's going on back stage or whatever it is, and seeing how the computers and the cameras and how all that technology works, and watching a lot of parts that I wasn't in the movie was kind of fun watching on offset. So that was one of my other favorite memories from offset.
Colin was the fun guy on set. Colin loved being on set. He loved hanging out with the crew. The crew loved him. He loved watching scenes that he wasn't even in.
Awesome.
Colin had his own driver, so he was, when you're an actor on a movie, you're treated like a king.
Yeah.
And it was great that Colin got to get that experience.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A brief question before I get to this question from that our producer texted me, but when you were, and I'm blinking on that question, but it was doing the taping. Maybe it'll come to me later, but during the process of filming, Colin or David, did you do any vlogging to document Colin's experience working on the movie? Like any video blogging that you guys did? Any
I did a lot of Instagram live, and by the way, yesterday I did a Instagram live with my friend from set named Kevin. Kevin is one of the Down syndrome kids in the movie that was in one of the school scenes that I said bye. He's really nice and super funny, and I enjoyed also having being a part of the movie. Him being a part of a scene with me was really fun.
Awesome.
That whole stuff, which is interesting, is Colin had a special needs teacher at Lincoln named Dan Stewart, and that's Donald's character. Donald Faison's character, straight from
he sounded like exactly like Mr. Stewart.
Donald's great.
Yeah,
Donald's really great in this. All the actors are really great. So
yeah,
that was just. I mean, from a writing perspective, it doesn't get any better. Just to pull, the truth is better than fiction, and I stole all that stuff. That when you're a writer, you're a thief.
Yeah. Well, and speaking to that, I have a degree in journalism, and one of my journalism professors had told me. So I used to write a column in a newspaper, and he told me that, and I'm in the process of writing a couple of books, but he said that sometimes you can, as a writer, you can plagiarize from yourself and use bits and pieces and different things that you've written. And I don't know, is the same true that you find with, so like the same thing with when I write a newspaper column, I will plagiarize from myself. Is this the same thing with you with screenwriting? Do you kind of plagiarize from yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a little bit of me in everything that I do. You write what you know. And whenever you write what you know, it always turns out to be so much better because it's so authentic. To get back to your question, Daniel, I did not vlog that much. I'm not a big vlogger, unfortunately. My wife took, a lot of videos, and Colin was on Instagram Live, like you said. But no, I mean, mostly we just have our memories in our head, and maybe later there'll be some videos emerging. But no, I mean, when to anybody that's an aspiring writer, always kind of write what you know. It'll always be a little bit better, and you're totally right. As far as with every single character that I've ever written, I always infiltrate a little bit of myself into them, and you can't help that. It's just a natural way of things, as you know.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we're at about 15 minutes of this audio podcast, but before we get into some final questions, and then finally final question that our producer texted me, and then some questions from our live audience, our live virtual audience, our live YouTube virtual audience, because that's what they are. They can, they can laugh, they can applaud, all because of the sound clips that we have. And so talk to us a little bit more about the character that Colin played, and I'm sure you could probably talk a little bit more about some of the other characters that you played, but briefly and maybe to kind of pull in some of the other characters, not that many other characters, but I guess mainly the character of Colin's brother on there, and because I'm sure you're doing other podcast interviews and stuff that you could talk about some of the other characters, but for our particular audience, talk a little bit about the character of Colin's brother. I'm blanking. This is where Jeb. Jet. This is where watching the screen of the movie before doing this podcast really would have come in handy.
It's all right. You're forgiven.
So, but I will promise you, I will watch it this weekend. And so, the brother, Jet and Colin's character, which is Q. Is that Q?
Quinn.
So their relationship in the movie, can you maybe both talk about their relationship and how it relates to both real life when it comes to the characters in the movie with them as brothers in real life, and then how Colin and his real life brother Jack, how both of them are similar and maybe different as well, if you want to touch on that, but kind of that brother, because that sibling relationship is really powerful. We just did a few months ago with Special Olympics, they were doing a research project on inclusive siblings and the bond between siblings. So kind of touch on that brother with relationship both in the movie, but then how Colin and his brother Jack's relationship in real life, how that kind of, when you wrote the script, how that fit into real life. So maybe you both can kind of comment on that.
Great question, Daniel. You haven't seen the movie yet, so shame on you.
But I will.
One of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene, is a scene that he's not even in. And that's the scene between Susan, the mom, and Jet. And
yeah, the scene where
it's really, I cry. I cry every time I watch it because it's so true. And when you have a special needs son, there are emotions that go along with that, or a daughter, and it makes, I think one can agree that it makes all of our lives better. It's proof that God exists, and so that scene between Darren and Elizabeth, Jed and Susan, is really emotional, and I think that it sort of embodies, everything emotion-wise that go on, with having a brother or a sister or a son or a daughter with special needs. I remember, and I'll let Colin talk in a second, but I just remember, going to a Williams syndrome convention, and this really intelligent man speaking about siblings of kids with special needs and how great these kids turn out, and I just cried. I cried right there, and I wanted to give that element to Susan, to Elizabeth, and she just really, in the movie, just makes it so amazing, better than anything that I had written on the page, and that's what all the actors beat the page in this movie. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, buddy?
About EMBATTLED?
No, just about your relationship with Jack.
Oh yeah, so Jack and I have the exact same relationship. So we both like we have a lot of things in common that other people do too. Like we both like basketball. We love going to the beach. We love sports. We
love body surfing.
Yeah, we love body surfing. we have a lot of funny like jokes and stuff that we just crack up about. And
I remember Jack and Colin used to do push-ups together, and Jack and I used to get upset at Colin because he wasn't going low enough on his push-ups. And I wrote that into the screenplay, and Darren and Colin play that perfectly, So there's so much in real life that happens between Jack and Colin that is in the movie between Jet and Quinn, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Jet and I became great brothers on set.
Awesome. And let's now transition and talk about the importance of inclusion in the film industry in Hollywood. We touched on it a little bit earlier on in this episode, but because our listeners might pause and they might be driving or walking or running or whatever, and come back and listen to this episode in different chunks. But why is, and you can both, David and Colin, once again, our guests are David and Colin McKenna from the David is the screenwriter for this movie, and Colin is one of the actors in this movie, EMBATTLED, that is released now this weekend, opening weekend, on Apple TV and Amazon, and so definitely go and check it out. Just on your Apple TV or Amazon, just search for EMBATTLED. That's EMBATTLED. I'm looking down at my notes. But talk about, why is inclusion in film important today, maybe today now more than ever, and what you are both doing to encourage inclusion of those of us with special abilities to be included in film. As we mentioned earlier, this movie EMBATTLED is a perfect example of just inclusion, just being a way of life, but really I think that this movie can be something that other screenwriters and other producers can look to this movie to see how it's done, how to make inclusion of those of us with special abilities happen, and just a natural, a natural integration into the story of any new movies. But talk a little bit about both of you, David and Colin. Talk a little bit about why is inclusion in film important today, and what you both are doing to encourage inclusion of those of us with disabilities to be included in films.
I should probably start on that, and then Colin can kind of jump in. So from a professional point of view, I think that Hollywood is catching on a little bit. I think that there's lots of work to be done in that area. I think that everything, there's lots of projects that are in development in Hollywood regarding, I think there's a television show being shot soon that is in the world of autism. And so we're taking steps, and they are baby steps. And I think that, there was a movie that came out, Peanut Butter Falcon, where the lead character had Down syndrome. And I think that's a great, movie. And I think this is a great movie that has that element. And so as far as inclusion within Hollywood, there's still lots to be done. I think that there's lots to be done on a personal front, with Colin and other kids. I think that there's lots of kids are really wonderful to Colin and to other special needs kids, but I think that they could also do a little bit more. It wouldn't, it would be great to be more inclusive. And I think that, lots of kids are great with Colin and including him, but I think that there could always be more done. So to answer your question, Daniel, there's always more to be done, you know, I mean, and I think though that from where we're at right now, it's all positive. And how do you feel about being included with your friends and the movie business and everything, right?
It feels great. I felt really included for the movie, and I felt comfortable and happy on set. With my other friends off of set back here. I feel the same way as I did on set, but I like different. More like I felt nervous at first, but then I got used to it. But like right when I came to CDM, I didn't know how it was gonna go, like how everyone was gonna how everyone was gonna like be nice or mean or anything like that. But they all turned out. My grade all turned out to be such an awesome grade, and glad I have a great, big, giant group of friends that help me and support me and take care of me.
Awesome. And you touched on that there are a couple other movies that feature disability inclusion within the film. You mentioned Peanut Butter Falcon, and I actually sat down with the two co-writers and directors of that movie. If you go on Apple Podcasts on your phone and search for Special Chronicles movies and TV commentary, which this episode will be in that feed as well. But the last kind of movie commentary type behind the scenes podcast I did was with the two co-writers and directors of Peanut Butter Falcon. So I probably should have also had Zach, the actor, on, but in the future. But those and that episode, it got a lot of views. But then another movie, even before Peanut Butter Falcon, is a movie called Where Hope Grows with David D. Satans, and the other actor is Chris Polaha. And it was directed by Chris Dowling. And And so that movie, Where Hope Grows, also features a character with Down syndrome. But that one, I don't think got as much media attention as the Peanut Butter Falcon did. So really, the movie Where Hope Grows did and that podcast we did a couple podcasts with that movie, and gave away a copy of the DVD. But that podcast that we did on the show got a lot of views too.
We'll
so
watch that. We'll watch that for sure.
Yeah. Where Hope Grows, and maybe we'll have to talk about off air, but maybe see if we can do a giveaway of this Embattled movie with our listeners, if that's possible. Or I don't know, either a DVD or some type of digital type giveaway or something for our listeners. But share with us some brief advice because we've got a little bit of time left in this program. But share with us advice for other filmmakers and other screenwriters, David, and then Colin, advice for other actors like yourself with Williams syndrome and other actors with disabilities, to take inclusion to new heights in films.
Well, I mean, I think that I've touched on that a little bit as far as, I think that writers out there who meet characters or who meet real people that have special needs, I totally encourage, them infiltrating those type of people into their scripts, as long as it's organic, as long as it serves a purpose to the story. You don't just want to write something about special needs, unless, of course, it works, in a positive way into what you're doing. And that's what I did here. Like, there's lots of movies that I've done that I wouldn't insert special needs into it because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work organically into the story. The first part of your question, as far as getting into the business, or how do you, what's the best way to go about, becoming a screenwriter, is I believe everything is about hard work. I think, of course, talent helps a little bit, but and I think that goes with any sort of profession of what you do, whether it be writing or acting or working on Wall Street, or starting a small business or whatever. The way you get ahead is you get up early and you work hard. And I get up early and I'm writing in the morning when it's still dark out, and this guy's still sleeping. And so, because when you're a screenwriter, everybody's got a great idea for a movie. And so basically the whole world is my competition. And so I'm competing, against the whole world for a certain bit of marketplace. And so it's difficult. And when you have, when you do that, you really got to work hard. And that's the biggest thing that I take away. Now, for you being an actor, how do you feel about all that? Working hard. And he really prepared hard for this movie with the coach. And maybe you want to talk about that.
Yeah. Practice. I mean, being an actor takes practice and stuff. It doesn't happen natural. And you just gotta have fun with it. You gotta be excited to do it. I was excited to do it.
Colin was really great about learning lines. For a lot of special needs kids, it's hard to remember all the lines and doing that. And that was Colin's specialty. He took the script and he read it and he worked on it with the coach, and he remembered the lines amazingly. He did stuff on the first take. You remember?
Yeah. Also with acting, it takes a lot of takes and stuff to get things right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Colin, did you add any other, I'm sure the movie, the filmmakers kept it to the script that you wrote, David, but did Colin did you add any any of your own words or lines, and if you did you, like, what was your reaction if Colin did, David, to add in his own words to a script that you wrote?
Well, I think that with all actors, they added a little something. I mean, I thought, like, there's a phrase that I love: beat the page. All the actors, whatever I wrote, every single actor made it better, and that is rare. That's never happened to me on a movie before, and I think the acting in this movie is exceptional, and that is a comment that I'm getting over and over and over from everybody that's seen it. The acting is really great. Now he strangely enough, a lot of the actors really stuck to the script a lot. There are times where you kind of go off and you do other stuff. Can you think of any things where you kind of added your own stuff? Maybe the push-up scene, him jumping on Darren or something.
Oh, yeah. I dogpiled on Darren.
Yeah, he dogpiled on Darren. I don't think I wrote dogpile in there. I think that him and Darren came up with that on their own, and that's the point. It's those little moments, Daniel, that the actors add in on their own. That make it that much better and authentic and real.
Another funny thing like that happened on set. I didn't mention it, but it was a blooper. So Elizabeth, like, we were sitting down, and Elizabeth, like, came in singing opera, and then out of nowhere, I just started burst out laughing, like, it's so hard, because I thought it was so funny. And I just want to say thank you to the everyone for watching this cast, and I just want to thank everyone for watching this and supporting the cast and crew of this amazing movie.
And Colin's brother Jack is watching right now, I think.
Oh, awesome. We'll get to we'll come to a closing and get to a few of our live audience comments in just a moment, but briefly tell us, for both of you, the question I usually end a lot of my podcasts ever since I came back from Abu Dhabi at the World Games, dealing with too for Special Olympics, was, what does inclusion mean to you? So maybe you can both answer that. What does inclusion, and it can be either inclusion in film or just inclusion overall in life, but what does inclusion mean to both of you?
I'll start off, and maybe Colin can sort of piggyback off what I say. I mean, I think that inclusion means you treat everybody the same way as you would want to be treated.
Yeah,
and
that's what I also think. Treat people. There's a saying: treat others how you want to be treated. And being like treating others with respect and happiness and all that good stuff means what's the word again?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
what is the word again?
Respect and love.
Yeah, respect, love, happiness.
I think that,
and all that good stuff.
I think that also for all the people that are watching, if you're sitting around and you're thinking about doing something, you're with a group of friends, call up one of these kids that are in a special needs class and invite them. If you're going to the movies or you're going to the mall or whatever, and just say, hey, we're going to this. Do you want to come? And include them in your plans, and you'll make their day, and sometimes kids forget to do that, and I wish that they would do that a little bit more, because it would really it makes their day, it makes the parents' day, and because a lot of they can always use more friends.
Yeah.
And that's what inclusion means to me, is really sort of, in an ideal world, Daniel, you know, there is no such thing as special needs. You
Yeah.
know, it's just you know, people are different, and just to include them would be tremendous. What you want to add on to that, buddy?
Yeah, like my dad was saying, like loving, supporting each other, and just bringing love and happiness into people's lives. That I think that is inclusion too. Like,
Yeah, awesome. We don't have a lot of time left, but
we're rambling too much, Dan.
I know,
Sorry.
but I wanted to briefly said to what you say. Well, hopefully, a lot of people can take their classmates that have special needs, like Colin and myself, to go and, well, maybe not to a theater because of COVID-19, but to watch this movie Embattled. They hopefully they can.
It's yeah. I mean, and my wife just said that Steven Dorff's watching, so that's cool. And Steven is just an absolute monster actor in this movie. You know, I am on the board. I think that Steven should get nominated for an Academy Award. It is the best performance I've seen this year. Darren should get nominated. This guy should get nominated. You know, the actors in this movie are insane, Daniel. And so that is something that everybody needs to pay attention to. Go, Daniel.
Awesome. So we'll get to a few brief live audience comments, but first a question from our producer. And after being this is first to Colin, after being in this film, and maybe we can try to be brief with our answers as we come to a close. I know it's hard for us all to do, but
we'll be brief.
So to Colin, after being in this film, has it inspired you to go after more film roles, and do you plan to pursue acting professionally?
I'm not really.
He likes to act. He's really good. I think that you'll if the right role comes along for Colin, yeah, you go ahead and read for it.
Yeah,
He'll think about it.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a prima donna, you know. I mean, as far as acting is concerned, but when the right role comes up, you'll read for it, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Awesome. And for you, David, after writing the screenplay that provided this opportunity for Colin, does it inspire you to write more screenplays that will include actors with intellectual differences and physical challenges?
Absolutely. I would love to do a television show on a special needs class. You know, I mean, I think that would be a great show. I just gave it away. Somebody's probably going to steal that idea now and start writing it. It won't be as good as mine because I lived it and I know.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. So you have that different angle than what somebody else might do.
Absolutely.
And when you said before, like what inclusive means, like it's always nice to. I mean, it's always great to have people involved, not just like saying like it's always great to invite people so you don't feel like left out or anything, because sometimes I feel left out, but I like my dad said, sometimes they forget like what they forget you, but I got used to it, and I feel inclusive in a lot of stuff, not just around here, but like all over the place. And I feel really happy and comfortable that I'm included in a good amount of stuff. So,
well, we're going to get to a few brief questions and comments from our live audience. One, the Skeleton Group. I don't know if that's behind the movie or not, but they're behind the movie.
No, we're just reading the screen. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Would love to know more about Colin's Mickey show. We'll get to that briefly at the very that plug for Colin's YouTube channel at the end. Okay. Colin's mom and David, your wife's emoji there, and then we already got to that. Let's see. Whoops. Whoa. Mousy says, Colin's real life brother is watching now. And then your movie brother, Darren, has a comment about, love you guys. We'll watch the rest later. Got it. Unfortunately, great job, guys. And
you did a great job, and glad I got to be your brother on set.
And then your real life brother, Jack, comments as well. And then Mousy says, if you don't have Apple TV, you can watch the movie by renting it through Amazon Prime. So
yeah, Amazon Prime, you can
and Vudu, Google Drive, there's lots of places.
You can rent it for $5 on Amazon Prime.
Go to the theater. You want to watch this movie on the big screen. It's playing on about 80 theaters, I think, Daniel, across the country. So people like in Texas, and it's mostly through the Midwest and the South. The states that are not, the movie theaters are not closed, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, there's lots of theaters, so try and find it and watch it on the big screen, because that's the best way to watch it.
Awesome. For the sake of time, we don't have time to get to all these questions. There's a lot of great comments from our live audience, but maybe after the fact, Colin and David, you can go through the YouTube comments and comment with your answers after the fact. For the sake of time, we're going to go with that. Brief plugs for your YouTube channel, Colin. People can go subscribe to the Everything Disney channel by Colin McKenna, as well as they can follow you on Instagram at Colin_McKenna2, and David, your Instagram that people can go. Well, you just got 3 new followers before recording this podcast, but hopefully more people can go follow at David McKenna Screenwriter.
I think I'm at 12 now. It's a huge day.
Also, I have Facebook and Snapchat. So make sure you guys go check out my Snapchat and Facebook.
His Disney channel is awesome.
Yeah. So tell us briefly about we'll have to have you both on again in the future to talk a little bit more about your Everything Disney channel, YouTube channel. But tell us about just a brief plug to get people to go out there and subscribe to your YouTube channel, the Everything, so people can just go to YouTube and search for the Everything Disney channel by Colin McKenna. We'll also put a link to it in the show notes on specialchronicles.com.
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I've always been going to Disney like my whole life. But like ever since I was a little kid, I just became obsessed with Disney, and ever since I was 1 until now, I'm still obsessed with Disney. So I decided to create my own YouTube channel all about Disney, which is like the rides, the food, the toys, like everything people can imagine about Disney, even the secrets or the movies or the books.
You learn a lot.
Awesome.
It's awesome channel.
Awesome. So
need information about the movies or rides or anything, go and look up some Disney websites and you'll be sure to find them.
Awesome. There's a podcast I listened to called The Secrets of Disney, and one person used to work at Disney and a couple of other are just fans of it. But yeah, awesome. So we'll definitely put links in the show notes on specialchronicles.com to the Everything Disney channel by Colin McKenna, so people can go to specialchronicles.com and click on the link to subscribe to your YouTube channel. And then how can people connect and watch this movie, Embattled?
Well, I'm gonna. A lot of people have been posting on their Instagrams and stuff lately about Embattled. I just posted a picture yesterday about the movie, and a lot of whoever saw the trailer, tell your guys' families to come out and support our the cast and crew of Embattled, and tell all your friends or neighbors to also come and watch too.
You can watch it on Amazon. You could watch it on iTunes, Apple TV. It's a great deal. It's only
Everywhere.
like $5.99 or $6.99, and we're not charging nearly enough. It should be $19.99 because it is that good.
Yeah.
and the reviews are coming in. It's LA Times loved it, great review from so many different places. But yeah, right now, video on demand. Just if you have any questions, just say watch EMBATTLED, and that'll take you to one of the places. And then in the theaters, we're in about 90 theaters.
Awesome.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. If you guys haven't seen the movie trailer,
It's on
YouTube.
Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
I was going to say they saw the trailer on this episode, so we 2 times watching the video.
Not on this live. Just go check out the
trailer.
Well, the movie's 10 times better than the trailer.
Well, I know. Just like before they see the movie, see the trailer.
Yeah, see the trailer and go watch the video. We'll put links in the show notes on specialchronicles.com to the movie on Apple TV and on Amazon Prime as well. Any final thoughts? Because I have to get going. I'm sure you guys have to get going too. But any final thoughts on your overall time here today on the Special Chronicles show to share with our listeners?
I'll leave it to you.
All I can say is just thank you for everyone who came on and watched the live broadcast. Thank you for having us on here, and we appreciate it.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Thank you. It's an honor to have you both on. We want to remind our listeners, visit specialchronicles.com to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast and remember to rate, review, and follow us to be notified of new episodes that drop weekly on the Special Chronicles Network. Your source to find and joy, acceptance, and inclusion to give respect and voice to people with special needs. Hope you have enjoyed this week's episode. Our guests have been Colin and his dad, David McKenna, from the movie EMBATTLED. Tell your coworkers right here on the Special Chronicles show on specialchronicles.com. Tell your coworkers, friends, family, and stay subscribed to this original podcast, the Special Chronicles show on specialchronicles.com. We'll see you back here next week on the digital podcast airwaves. Until next week, remember, choose to include. Until next week, remember, choose to include.
Thank you for having us. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
Okay, I'm going to go and stop the audio, and we're going to go and stop the video.